Okay, so most people know about fight, flight, and freeze responses to threat. But the fourth response, that gets far less attention in the world, and that's fawning. And fawning is what happens when your nervous system decides that the safest way to survive is to appease the threat, accommodate, and shrink yourself. In an environment where your safety depended on keeping people happy, keeping people appeased, fawning kept you alive. You learned that your worth was tied to what you could give, that your needs were far less important than others' comfort, that saying no was dangerous. So if you needed to do a certain thing to make somebody happy, you did it. If you had to say the right thing, if you had to act the right way, that's what kept you safe in that situation. And financial fawning is what happens when the fawn response gets attached to money. It shows up as rejecting money or gifts because receiving feels dangerous. It's conditional, like what do I need to do? How is this going to get held over my head? What's going to happen? You offer discounts to ease someone else's discomfort because what does that mean? What's going to happen to me if they're uncomfortable? Doing free work to prove that you're valuable, loaning money you can't afford to give, taking on financial risks just to support others because that's what you've had to do in one way, shape, or form throughout your life. And on the surface, it looks like generosity, like you're just being a good person, like you're putting others first. But what's actually happening is your nervous system's survival mechanism is activating, and it's just dressed up as kindness. It's acting like, oh, okay, I'm being that great person to help you, but your body's saying, this is dangerous. I need to start acting in the way that I need to act to protect myself, which is appeasing others. Financial fawning often starts in childhood and in the relationships where your needs were subordinated to someone else's emotional state. So maybe your parents had financial anxiety and you learned to be grateful for whatever scraps were available, never asking for more. Maybe your parent withheld resources as punishment, and you learned that asking was dangerous because it just was going to be conditional in some way, shape, or form, or something. Maybe your parent made their love conditional on you being useful, productive, accommodating, and you learned that your value was tied to what you could give, how you could act. Maybe you were raised to be like the good daughter, the good sister, the good woman, whatever other title, which meant that learning that your needs came last. Putting yourself first is selfish. Your boundaries just don't exist. That's not a thing. You don't have them. Maybe financial abuse or financial neglect taught you that money is a tool for control. That's not safe to have your own money. That security means making yourself small and dependent. All of this gets encoded into your nervous system. Your body learns that asking is dangerous. Having needs is selfish. Receiving is unsafe. And the only way to stay loved is to make yourself useful by giving. Then you start a business. And suddenly you have to ask for payment. You have to name what you're actually worth. You have to receive money because, that's how business works. You have to set boundaries. And there are times you actually have to say no. Your nervous system loses its mind because asking for money activates that same threat response as asking for love in your childhood. Setting a boundary feels like abandonment. Receiving feels like taking, and saying no feels like dying inside. Financial fawning isn't always this dramatic, often quiet, wrapped under the guise of helpfulness. You undercharge because the moment you think about naming what you're worth, anxiety floods your system. You mean, what am I worth? Giving, this is what I'm worth. The number feels too big, whatever the number may be. Your client might say no. They might think you're greedy. They might think you're selfish. Who are you to charge this amount? So you lower it and sometimes keep lowering it. Your nervous system just settles and the threat passes. You've bought safety through financial self-sacrifice. You can't ask for what you need. A client requests something outside of your scope, your body tightens. Saying no feels impossible. Instead, you just add it to the pile. I'll figure it out. You're going to be flexible, collaborative, easy to work with. What you're actually doing is teaching your nervous system that your boundaries don't matter. You over deliver because stopping at the agreed upon scope feels cruel. Your client seems stressed. You just want to help. They need more, so you give it. And your nervous system gets a hit of relief. You've made them comfortable. This is what you had to do in childhood, often parenting the parent. You're safe. This is how you survived, and think this is how you need to survive now. But what served you back then isn't what's going to serve you now or serve you in the future.